All right, let's be real for a second. You know those days, right? The ones where traffic is a solid, unmoving wall of frustration. Your phone just buzzed with a bill you absolutely did not budget for. And then for the third time this week, the barista, bless their heart, managed to completely butcher your name on the coffee cup. It's these little jabs, these tiny pinpricks of daily nonsense that sometimes feel like they're going to push you right over the edge. One more drop, and you're pretty sure your head will just crack open like a poorly packed egg. Here's the wild, beautiful twist. The ancient Stoics, those philosophical titans of resilience, wouldn't see that morning rush hour breakfast combo as a sign of a bad day. Oh no, they call it a perfect, tailor-made training ground. A dojo of daily life, if you will. And in the next 25 minutes or so, I'm not just going to tell you about them. I'm going to hand you 5 field-tested, battle-hardened exercises. These aren't just dusty old theories from forgotten scrolls. These are the mental drills that the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius practiced on the chilly, chaotic Danube frontier, the same ones the slave-turned-teacher Epictetus taught in his humble classroom. And yes, the very techniques that modern therapists now borrow and integrate into anxiety clinics and stress management programs. Imagine that for a moment. Philosophy, so practical, so profoundly useful, that it bridges millennia and speaks directly to your present-day struggles. Practice these, integrate them into your routine, and watch how that same daily nonsense, the traffic, the unexpected bills, the misspelled names, transforms. It stops being the battering ram that shatters your peace and starts becoming the whetstone that sharpens your mind, hones your perspective, and builds an inner fortress no external chaos can breach. We're talking about becoming genuinely, profoundly, mentally unbreakable. Are you ready for that? Because it's absolutely within your grasp. If the idea of practical philosophy that actually pays rent in your brain, that genuinely helps you navigate the messy reality of modern life, sounds useful, then do yourself a favor. Hit that subscribe button. We're not about fluff here. Just tools. Real, actionable tools you can use right now. Exercise 1. The dichotomy of control. Let's kick things off with a foundational truth, a bedrock principle that Marcus Aurelius himself penned in his private journal, Meditations. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you'll find strength. Strip that powerful line down to its bare essence, and what you get is one of Stoicism's core, most liberating drills, the dichotomy of control. At its heart, this exercise is elegantly simple, yet profoundly transformative. It asks you to sort every single situation, every thought, every external occurrence, into one of 2 distinct buckets. Bucket number 1. What is truly up to you? What falls within the sphere of your direct influence, your choices, your actions, your judgments, your reactions? And bucket number 2. What isn't up to you? What lies outside your immediate control, belonging instead to the realm of external circumstances, other people's opinions, or the unpredictable whims of fate? Now, let's take this for a modern test drive. Imagine you open your inbox first thing in the morning, still half asleep, and there it is, a snarky, passive-aggressive email from your colleague. You know the type. Immediately, your stomach tightens, your jaw clenches, and your mind starts racing with indignant replies. This is precisely where the dichotomy of control steps in. Let's sort it. In bucket 1, what's up to you? Your reply to that email. The tone you choose to use. How long you let it fester in your mind. Your breathing pattern in this moment. Your interpretation of why your colleague sent it. Is it about you? Or are they just having a bad day? Your decision to address it directly, ignore it, or escalate it. Your internal state, your peace of mind, your character. These are all squarely within your domain. In bucket 2, what isn't up to you? Your colleague's initial tone, their opinion of you or the situation. The precise fact that the message arrived at 6:03 a.m. on a Tuesday. Their motivations for writing it. Their inherent personality. The company culture that might allow such emails. These are all external. You cannot directly command or change them. The Stoic directive here is crystal clear. Spend your precious, finite energy only on bucket 1. Direct your focus, your effort, your mental resources toward what you can influence. This isn't about ignoring problems or burying your head in the sand. It's about strategically deploying your attention to the most impactful areas. When you consciously choose to focus on your response, your attitude, your internal calm, you reclaim an immense amount of power that you might otherwise unknowingly cede to external events. And this isn't just ancient wisdom. Modern neuroscience is increasingly backing it up. A fascinating 2022 study conducted at Birkbeck, University of London, found that individuals who consistently practiced this kind of cognitive sorting for just 3 weeks demonstrated a remarkable 22% drop in rumination, that incessant, unproductive chewing over of worries. Even more compelling, they showed a measurable rise in self-efficacy, a person's belief in their ability to succeed in specific situations or accomplish a task. What does that translate to in plain English? Your brain literally begins to rewire itself. It learns to stop gnawing on the same old worry cud, freeing up mental bandwidth and fostering a sense of agency. The profound benefit of integrating this exercise into your daily life is this. Every single time you consciously tag the border between your personal turf, your thoughts, actions, reactions, and the world's turf, everything else, you reinforce a vital mental reflex. This reflex is your internal defense system, the mechanism that keeps outside shocks, unexpected disappointments, and irritating provocations from hijacking your nervous system and sending you spiraling. You stop being a passive pinball, bounced around by every external force, and you start being the player deliberately guiding your own trajectory. It's a game changer for your peace of mind. Exercise 2. Negative. Next up, let's tackle an exercise that, at first blush, might sound a little, negative. But trust me, this isn't about wallowing in misery. It's about inoculating yourself against it. Seneca, another titan of Stoic thought, captured its essence beautifully. He robs present ills of their power who has seen their coming beforehand. The Stoics had a specific, wonderfully evocative name for this drill, premeditatio malorum, which translates roughly to the premeditation of evils or the contemplation of adversities. Now, before you think we're advocating for a daily dose of doom and gloom, let's clarify. This isn't catastrophizing. It's not about dwelling on every worst-case scenario until you're paralyzed by anxiety. Far from it. Premeditatio malorum is a deliberate, controlled, and brief mental rehearsal designed to build resilience and foster a profound sense of gratitude for what you currently have. Here's how you can practice it tonight. Before bed, or perhaps during a quiet moment in your day, close your eyes and run a brief, specific simulation in your mind. Think of something you're anticipating or dreading slightly tomorrow, or even a general challenge you might face. Maybe tomorrow's big presentation tanks completely. The client walks out. Your manager's eyebrow arches in that specific, disapproving way. Or perhaps a more personal scenario. Your car breaks down on the way to an important appointment, or a difficult conversation you need to have goes completely sideways. Crucially, limit this mental movie to a short, intense burst, say 90 seconds. You're not spiraling. You're preparing. During this 90 seconds, don't just imagine the event. Allow yourself to feel a flicker of the discomfort, the disappointment, the inconvenience. Then, immediately pivot to rehearsing your response. What would the calm, rational, resilient you do? You take a slow, deep breath. You'd ask factual, clarifying questions. You'd shift your focus to the next logical step, creating a mini action list. Okay, if the presentation tanks, I'll thank the client for their time, ask for specific feedback, and immediately start drafting a follow-up email outlining alternative solutions. This is about problem solving, not panicking. So, why does this seemingly counterintuitive practice work so incredibly well? It inoculates your amygdala. The amygdala, for those not steeped in neuroscience, is that almond-shaped part of your brain that acts as your emotional alarm bell, responsible for your fight or flight response. When something genuinely unexpected and negative happens, your amygdala screams, floods your system with cortisol, the stress hormone, and often shuts down your rational prefrontal cortex. This is why we sometimes freeze or panic under pressure. By mentally rehearsing these bad scenarios, even briefly, you're essentially giving your amygdala a preview. When the real flop, the genuine inconvenience, or the actual disappointment arrives, your brain doesn't tag it as a completely novel, terrifying threat. Instead, it registers it as familiar, handled. Because you've already run the simulation, you've already considered a response. This means cortisol stays in the locker, your stress response is muted, and your rational thought processes, your prefrontal cortex, remain firmly on the field, ready to strategize and adapt. You move from reactive panic to proactive problem solving. There's a fantastic bonus side effect to premeditatio malorum. You often exit the exercise feeling weirdly, wonderfully grateful for how much usually goes right. When you consciously consider the loss of your health, your loved ones, your job, or even just your daily comforts, and then open your eyes to find them all still there, the mundane becomes magnificent. That lukewarm coffee? Suddenly, it's a luxury. The slow Wi-Fi? A minor blip in an otherwise functional world. It cultivates a profound appreciation for the present moment and the good fortune you already possess. Gratitude and preparedness, packaged neatly into a single, powerful exercise. It's truly a two-for-one deal for your mental well-being. Exercise 3. Voluntary effort. Let's pivot to an exercise that might make you a little uncomfortable. And that's precisely the point. Epictetus, whose life began as a slave, knew a thing or two about genuine hardship. Comfort for him wasn't just a fleeting luxury, it was often entirely off the menu. From this lived experience, he developed a profound insight and advised his students to practice having nothing, so that fortune, when it inevitably turns, could never truly surprise or crush them. This isn't about asceticism for its own sake. It's about building an inner fortress, preparing yourself for the inevitable fluctuations of life by intentionally stepping outside your comfort zone. Translate that ancient wisdom to our modern, often overly cushioned lives, and you get the practice of voluntary discomfort. This isn't about self-punishment or seeking out pain. It's about deliberately, consciously, and safely introducing small, manageable doses of discomfort into your routine. Think of it as resistance training for your nervous system, a way to toughen your mental hide against the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. So how do you do it? Once a week or even a few times a week, pick a small, safe, and temporary discomfort. This could be something as simple as taking a cold 3-minute shower instead of your usual warm one, or skipping one meal, perhaps extending your overnight fast a little longer than usual. Maybe it's walking to the store in a thin hoodie when everyone else is puffed up like Michelin men in their winter coats, feeling that crisp air bite at your skin. Or even, for a short period, foregoing a small luxury you've become accustomed to, like your morning coffee or an hour of social media scrolling. The key here is to keep it short, keep it safe, and most importantly, keep it deliberate. You are choosing this discomfort. It is not being imposed upon you. The profound outcome of voluntary discomfort is that it acts as a powerful form of resistance training for your nervous system. Our bodies and minds are remarkably adaptable, but only if we challenge them. When we consistently expose ourselves to minor stressors and observe our capacity to endure them, we build a powerful internal narrative. I can handle this. I'm stronger than I think. Researchers at the University of Tromsø, for instance, have done fascinating work showing that repeated cold exposure, especially when paired with controlled breathing, can increase norepinephrine levels up to 5-fold. Norepinephrine is a neurotransmitter that plays a crucial role in attention, focus, and mood regulation. So, by embracing a cold shower, you're not just feeling chilly. You're literally boosting your brain's ability to pay attention and regulate its mood for hours afterward. This is mental toughness being forged in the fires, or in this case, the ice, of conscious choice. And here's a truly wonderful side effect. After you've deliberately surfed a wave of genuine, albeit self-imposed, discomfort, ordinary annoyances shrink to comic irrelevance. That lukewarm coffee that might have once sent a ripple of irritation through your morning, suddenly, it's just coffee, and you've already faced something far more challenging. The slow Wi-Fi that used to trigger a mini meltdown? It becomes mere background noise, a minor inconvenience that barely registers. You've proven to yourself that you can handle legitimate discomfort, so the trivial irritations of daily life lose their power to derail your peace. You're building a psychological immune system that makes you less reactive and more resilient to everything life throws your way. Exercise 4. Morning reflection and evening REVW. If you want to truly live a life of purpose and intention, you need a compass and a logbook. This is where the Stoic practices of morning reflection and evening review come in, acting as your daily navigation system for ethical living. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, essentially left us with his own morning journal, filled with ethical reminders, self-admonishments, and intentions for the day ahead. He wasn't writing for an audience. He was writing to himself, stealing his resolve and clarifying his values. Similarly, Seneca, at the close of each day, would conduct a rigorous personal audit, famously asking himself, "What ailment of yours have you cured today? What vice have you checked? In what respect are you better?" These aren't just quaint historical footnotes. They are powerful, actionable tools you can steal and integrate into your own life starting today. Let's talk about the sunrise component, your morning reflection. This is your chance to set your ethical compass for the day. Find just 3 minutes, perhaps while your coffee brews or before the world fully intrudes, and write 3 simple lines. You don't need a fancy journal. A scrap of paper or a note on your phone will do. Line 1. The virtue you want active today. What quality do you want to embody? Is it patience, especially if you know you'll be dealing with difficult people? Is it courage, if you have a challenging conversation ahead? Is it justice, if you need to make a fair decision? Choose one virtue that feels particularly relevant to the day you anticipate. For example, today, I choose patience. Line 2. The specific trigger you'll likely face. Where will this virtue be tested? Be concrete. I know I'll face a chaotic rush hour merge lane on my commute. Or, my colleague, who often interrupts, will be in the team meeting. Identifying the trigger prepares you mentally. Line 3. Your planned response. This is your pre-commitment, your mental blueprint. How will the best version of yourself react when that trigger appears? When I hit the merge lane, I will let 2 cars in ahead of me and breathe calmly. Or, if my colleague interrupts, I will politely but firmly say, "Please let me finish my thought, then I'd love to hear yours." This isn't just wishful thinking. It's an implementation intention, a pre-programmed response. Then comes the sunset component, your evening review. This is your 5-minute debrief, your daily audit of how well you lived up to your intentions. Again, a few simple questions to ask yourself, perhaps jotted down or just contemplated. Did I act by my morning code? Did I embody patience in the merge lane? Did I speak with courage in a meeting? Where did I slip? Where did my old habits or impulses take over? Be honest, but not overly harsh. This isn't about self-flagellation. It's about honest assessment. What specific cue or situation will I watch for tomorrow? And how can I refine my response? This closes the loop, turning a mistake into a learning opportunity. The psychology behind this isn't just compelling. It's robustly supported by modern science. This daily ritual perfectly mirrors a powerful combination of techniques found in cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT self-monitoring, and implementation intentions. Self-monitoring, the act of observing and recording your own behaviors and thoughts, is a cornerstone of CBT for building self-awareness and identifying patterns. And implementation intentions, those if-then plans you create. If I encounter X, then I will do Y, have been shown in meta-analyses across 94 studies to cut impulsive, undesirable reactions by up to 40%. That's a massive impact on your ability to control your own behavior and live more intentionally. The profound benefit of this consistent practice is that you stop accumulating vague, undefined guilt or regret about your day. Instead, you start collecting actionable data. You gain clarity on your strengths, your weaknesses, and the specific moments where you can improve. Over weeks and months, this morning intention and evening review loop becomes a highly personalized operating system for your life, constantly patching bugs, refining your responses, and upgrading your character nightly. You're not just existing. You're actively, consciously, and scientifically building a better you. Exercise 5. Turning the obstacle upside down. And this final exercise is perhaps the most audacious, the most counterintuitive, and arguably the most powerful. It's a complete paradigm shift in how you view challenges. Marcus Aurelius, with his characteristic wisdom, left us with this profound statement: the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Think about that for a moment. The very thing that blocks you, the obstacle itself, isn't just something to be overcome. It's the path forward. It's the raw material for your progress. This is the essence of turning the obstacle upside down. In Stoic philosophy, this isn't just a clever turn of phrase. It's a call to a more fatty, a love of fate, an acceptance, and even embrace of everything that happens, seeing it all as an opportunity to practice virtue and grow stronger. It's about recognizing that while we cannot control external events, we always control our perception and our response to them. Here's the practical script you can start using immediately. The next time you hit a roadblock, and life, being life, will absolutely provide plenty of them, pause for a beat. Take a breath. And then deliberately, even audibly, say to yourself, "Good. Now I have." And then fill in the blank with a reframed, positive outcome or opportunity that this very obstacle has created. Let's run through some examples. Obstacle. Your major project at work just got unexpectedly canceled. Your reframe: "Good. Now I have time to upskill on Python." a language I've wanted to learn, which will make me even more valuable for the next project. Obstacle. Your flight is delayed by 3 hours, and you're stuck at the airport. Your reframe. Good. Now I have 2 uninterrupted hours to finally outline that report I've been putting off, or to catch up on those important emails without distractions. Obstacle. A colleague gives you harsh, seemingly unfair criticism in a meeting. Your reframe. Good. Now I have an opportunity to practice active listening, ask clarifying questions, and demonstrate my composure under pressure. Perhaps there's a kernel of truth I can learn from, even if the delivery was poor. Obstacle. You planned a perfect outdoor weekend, and it suddenly starts pouring rain. Your reframe. Good. Now I have an excuse to finally tackle that book I've been meaning to read, or to spend quality, uninterrupted time with my family indoors, playing board games or watching movies. The neural angle here is incredibly compelling. When an obstacle hits, our limbic system, the emotional, primal part of our brain, often goes into panic mode, triggering stress and a sense of helplessness. This reframing exercise actively engages your prefrontal cortex, the executive control center of your brain. By consciously searching for an alternative perspective, you're tamping down that limbic panic. You're telling your brain, this isn't a threat, it's a puzzle. This shift in perspective releases creative problem-solving networks, allowing you to see possibilities where you initially only saw problems. You move from a state of emotional reactivity to one of cognitive flexibility and ingenuity. The ultimate outcome of consistently practicing this exercise is profound. Obstacles stop being emotional potholes that jar your entire system and start becoming raw material. They transform from frustrating dead ends into valuable resources. The very same rock that blocks your path, when turned upside down and examined from a different angle, can become a stepping stone. It can become the material for a new bridge, a new path, or even a foundation for something entirely new and better. You're not just enduring challenges, you're actively leveraging them for growth, seeing every impediment as an opportunity, and truly living the philosophy that what stands in the way becomes the way. If you're sitting there waiting for the right mood or the perfect time to start incorporating these practices, remember what Seneca wisely told us. If one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Pick just one exercise that resonated with you today and set sail. Start practicing it right now. While you're charting that course towards a more resilient you, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next toolkit drop. Your future self will thank you. Now, I know what you might be thinking. 5 exercises? That sounds like a lot to juggle. And you're absolutely right. Trying to implement all 5 at once, perfectly from day one, is a recipe for overwhelm and eventual abandonment. That's not how we build lasting habits. This isn't a sprint. It's a marathon of mental conditioning. The Stoics understood the power of gradual, consistent practice, and that's precisely how we're going to approach stacking these powerful tools. Think of it like building a mental muscle. You wouldn't walk into a gym and immediately try to lift the heaviest weight on every machine. You start small, build a foundation, and then gradually increase the load. The same principle applies here. Here's a suggested, gentle progression for stacking these exercises, but feel free to adjust it to your own pace and needs. Week 1. Master the dichotomy of control. For this entire week, make it your primary focus. During every commute, every interaction, every moment of frustration, consciously ask yourself, is this within my control or outside it? Practice directing your energy only to what's in bucket 1. When your phone buzzes with an unexpected email, pause and sort. When someone cuts you off in traffic, sort. Make it a game, a mental reflex you're building. The goal isn't perfection, but consistent effort and growing awareness. You'll be surprised how quickly you start to see the world through this clarifying lens. Week 2. Add morning reflection. Keep practicing the dichotomy of control, as it should already be starting to feel more natural. Now, layer in the morning reflection. Just those 3 lines: virtue, trigger, planned response. This adds intentionality to your day. It's a proactive step, setting your compass before the winds of daily life start to blow. This combination means you're not just reacting better, dichotomy, but you're also pre-acting with purpose, reflection. Week 3. Integrate voluntary discomfort. By now, the first 2 should be settling in. This week, introduce your chosen form of voluntary discomfort. Maybe it's a cold shower every other day, or skipping 1 meal a week. Remember, keep it safe, short, and deliberate. This is where you start building that physical and psychological grit, proving to yourself that you can handle a little bit of a challenge and that comfort isn't your master. Week 4. Introduce evening review. As the first 3 become more ingrained, bring in the evening review. This is your daily feedback loop, your opportunity to learn and course correct. It enhances the morning reflection by providing accountability and insights. It's a powerful way to accelerate your growth, turning every day into a learning experience rather than just a series of events. Week 5. Layer and turning the obstacle upside down. Finally, with a solid foundation of self-awareness, intentionality, resilience, and reflection, you're ready for the ultimate reframe. When obstacles arise, practice that good. Now I have. Script. This becomes a powerful capstone, transforming what might have been sources of frustration into fuel for creativity and growth. By week 5, you won't just be practicing these exercises. They'll start to feel automatic, interwoven into the fabric of your daily existence. You'll notice subtle shifts. Perhaps friends or colleagues will start asking why you seem so incredibly calm in the room when the fire alarm unexpectedly trips during lunch or when a major deadline suddenly shifts. You'll find yourself navigating life's inevitable storms not just with less stress, but with a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you have a robust toolkit for whatever comes next. This isn't magic. It's the profound, cumulative power of consistent, deliberate practice. Let's be brutally honest. Life will keep firing surprises at you. Taxes will keep coming. Traffic will continue to snarl. And tyrants of every stripe, from the microaggressions of a difficult boss to the macro chaos of global events, will inevitably appear. Stoicism doesn't promise you a life free of storms. It's not about finding a magical way to avoid all challenges or eliminate all discomfort. That's a fantasy, and frankly, it would be a life devoid of growth. What Stoicism does offer, however, is something far more valuable and enduring. It offers ship-grade hull plating for your inner vessel. It provides the tools and the mental architecture to withstand the storms, to navigate choppy waters, and to emerge not just intact, but stronger, wiser, and more capable. These 5 drills aren't just abstract concepts. They're the forge in which you can hammer out an unbreakable mind. The dichotomy of control helps you split reality into what you own and what you don't, directing your energy with surgical precision. Negative visualization inoculates you against future shocks, turning potential setbacks into opportunities for preparedness and gratitude. Voluntary discomfort is your resistance training, building genuine grit and reducing your attachment to fleeting comforts. The morning reflection and evening review form your daily operating system, ensuring you live with intention and learn from every experience. And turning the obstacle upside down is the ultimate reframe, transforming impediments into stepping stones, seeing every challenge as a hidden opportunity. Work these practices, integrate them, make them your own, and watch. The same hammer swings of fate, the very same pressures and challenges that once dented your spirit, that left you feeling bruised and battered, will, over time, start shaping you. They won't break you. They will mold you into a more resilient, more peaceful, and profoundly unbreakable human being. Remember this. Mental toughness isn't some rare, genetic gift bestowed upon a lucky few. It's not a talent. It's a craft. It's built day by day, choice by choice, practice by practice. If you want more field notes from ancient wisdom, distilled and amplified by modern science, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. And hey, drop your favorite Stoic quote in the comments below. I'd love to see what resonates with you. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay unbreakable.